Tycoon witnesses pregnant ex-wife faint in public. His reaction will surprise you. He stands at the edge of his office's enormous floor-to-ceiling window, looking out over the glittering city skyline. The sun dips low, painting glass towers in gold. Ji-hoon's tailored suit fits him perfectly, but the mirror reveals the only thing the city lights never illuminate: the heavy loneliness in his eyes. He breathes in sharply, placing a hand on the smooth, cold glass. The board members had left hours ago, applause still ringing from today's quarterly report. Record profits, he had announced. Yet the hollow echo in this vast room reminds him of the moment he first realized. Success meant nothing without someone to share it with. A weight settles in his chest. His phone buzzes, interrupting the silence. A text flashes. Dinner meeting tomorrow with the investors. He tucks it away, fingers lingering on the screen longer than necessary. The invitation is routine, expected, but he'd rather retreat into solitude. The house waits, pristine and empty. Memories wait there, too. There's a soft knock on the glass door. His assistant enters with professional calm. "Mr. Han, you should head home." He nods curtly, his voice low. "Send my car." She hesitates, reading him too well. "Mr. Han, are you okay?" He pauses, brushing his hair back. "I'm fine," he lies, but his shoulders sag as she leaves. The click of the door resonates like a punch. Outside, the night air is crisp and indifferent. The chauffeur greets him at the sleek black sedan. Ji-hoon slides into the back seat. Head resting against the leather, he lets the city hum around him. Streetlights blur past. He's surrounded by luxury. A leather jacket stowed, a steaming cup of coffee, but the emptiness inside him stings sharper. Inside his mind, a single image flickers. So-yeon's eyes, wide and hopeful, from years ago. A wedding photo, the warmth and the promises he made. Then the moment they broke. Chasing a deal, ignoring her tears in the lobby. The final handshake that ended their marriage. He swallowed his guilt and built walls instead. "Drive," he finally whispers. The driver nods. The city's noise washes over. Ji-hoon closes his eyes, and for the first time in years, he wonders what he's really built. In the quiet of his own thoughts, he admits to himself, "I'm so tired of being alone." And without realizing it, he makes a decision. Tomorrow, he'll step off the throne. He'll choose something he hasn't chosen in a long time, himself. For now, the night carries him home, carrying the restless ghost of that wedding photo and the echo of a happier time when his heart still looked outward. The engine hums, matching the slow beat of his heart. Steady, waiting. As sunlight fractures through bamboo leaves, he steps onto the stone path that leads to the open gate. His car awaits, but he refuses. He walks. With every step, his mind drifts back to her smile. Pure, unguarded. A smile he never saw this morning. No, that was only his wish. Now he must face reality. The driver's voice pulls him back. "We'll arrive in 20 minutes. Ji-hoon nods, though he's hardly present. He rehearses what he'll say, the apology he's been unable to voice. He practices and discards phrases, each one hollow in his mouth, until he stops and whispers to himself, "They're going to hate me, but they deserve to hear it." When he arrives at the small clinic on the outskirts of the city, the receptionist hesitates before letting him in. Word has spread. He's the magnate who walked away, now here like a private visitor. His posture is stiff as he enters the waiting room. Modest furniture, soft pastel walls, the smell of antiseptic. He spots her immediately. So-yeon sits with her hands on her stomach, fingers shifting the pleats of her skirt. Her shoulders are hunched forward like she's protecting something precious and fragile. She doesn't look up. He closes the door behind him with a gentle click. The noise silences the room, magnifying each breath. She flinches, glancing up with eyes wide enough to capture all his shame. He begins, voice locked in a struggle. "I came because I need to say..." A cough interrupts him, hers. She's pale, thinner than he remembers. The doctor emerges from a side room. He's serious, compassion etched in his creases. "Mr. Han." He nods respectfully. then looks at So-yun. She needs bed rest. We want to keep the babies safe. Ji-hoon's heart stops. He can't see their faces yet, but he feels them. Two lives suspended in fragile hush. He steps toward So-yun. He takes her hand. It's cold. For a moment, her gaze slides away, and she bites her lip to stop a sob. "Why now?" she whispers, tears gathering. "Why now, Ji-hoon?" He inhales. "Because I finally realized I can't live on regrets." His voice trembles. He's never admitted that to anyone before. "So-yun, I was wrong. I let everyone, my family, pride, tell me who you were, what you did. I didn't look. I didn't trust you." He closes his eyes, ashamed that those words still taste bitter. "I'm so sorry." Silence presses in. The doctor clears his throat, reminding them of time. He escorts So-yun toward a small treatment room. Ji-hoon follows. He watches as they settle her onto the bed. White sheets, crisp and empty. The doctor's gentle instructions brush past him. Another reminder that this isn't his boardroom. This is real life. Alone now, he holds So-yun's hand again. She squeezes. No words pass, but her eyes say everything. Fear, anger, longing. Then a machine beeps. Their baby's heart beats. Two tiny rhythms, each distinct. Ji-hoon leans in, stunned. Tears slip silently down his cheeks. He never thought he would hear this. He never believed he'd let himself hope. Somewhere between the flat line of silence and that double heartbeat, something shifts. His world tilts. He leans closer and whispers, almost to himself, "I'll stay. I'll change." The weeks that follow feel like moving underwater. Ji-hoon visits daily. RST, wounds are raw, her voice clipped, his apology stumbling. But gradually, small bridges appear. He brings daikon radish soup, rice porridge, something gentle for pregnancy stomachs. She tastes it out of habit, then looks at him with slight surprise. A nod. Tomorrow, ask him again. For the recipe. One evening, he arrives to find her asleep, books open across her lap. Early childhood development, names and stories for twins. He studies her profile, the soft curve of her jawline, the stray strands of hair fallen across her face. He creaks the door shut and leans against the frame, as though in worship. For the first time ever, he's not thinking of power or deals. He's thinking of lullabies, twin laughter, bedtime stories. On the last visit before a mandated rest period, he stands by the window, rain tapping on glass. So-yun watches him. "Why do you look like you're praying?" she asks, voice gentle. He turns. "I am. I'm praying I've been forgiven, that I get to be here for them, for all of us." His eyes glisten. The rain mimics his confession. She steps closer, brushing raindrops off his sleeve. Their fingers graze and linger. He can taste every word he didn't say back then, now murmured in droplets. She closes her eyes, and for the first time in years, their silence speaks of forgiveness. Not the loud kind, but the deep, settling kind. A storm is passing. They stand together in its eye, uncertain of what follows, but unafraid for the first time. "Mother," he said, voice steady, though his hands trembled. "Ji-hoon," she answered, cold and efficient. "I'm informed you're at the clinic again. Are you interfering? Your presence isn't required." He closed his eyes, swallowing. They need stability, the babies, and her. So-yun needs peace. There was a pause. "She chose this life of obscurity," his mother replied, voice tight. "I find it unnecessary to involve you further. You have responsibilities." Ji-hoon let out a disbelieving breath. "My first responsibility is to my children, our children, and to her." His voice cracked on the last word. "Whatever happened, whatever people say, I will be there." Another silence. Then softer. "Don't forget who you are, Ji-hoon. You are Han Ji-hoon, heir to Han Group. Don't be distracted." He ended the call, chest taut, as though someone pressed down on him. He remembered every moment he'd ceded to her control. The arranged interviews, the business alliances that shaped his life. his own desires buried beneath them, but he could feel her pressure even now. Each corporate email that pinged, each boardroom reminder that his name carried weight, that he had a legacy to uphold. He let his gaze trail across the sterile clinic room. So-Yun was dozing quietly, a thin blanket pulled up to her chin. Her expression was calm, vulnerable. He remembered calling her my rock on their first anniversary. The words tunneled through him, heavy with sorrow. He brushed hair away from her forehead, then silently left to go downstairs into the reception area. The lobby smelled of disinfectant and eucalyptus. A nurse watched him kindly. "How's she doing?" "She's resting," he answered, voice low. "Still on bed rest for a while." "And your work?" Ji-hoon hesitated. Should he lie, say he's heading back to the office? But the answer came easier. "I'm on leave." He said it, and felt a strange relief, as if he'd finally admitted a secret. The nurse nodded, surprising him with a gentle smile. "That's good. She needs you." He nodded back, heart pounding. Outside, rain-slick pavement shimmered under traffic lights. He realized he hadn't eaten. "Excuse me," he murmured to the nurse, voice quiet. "I'll be back soon." Back in the taxi, he forced himself to step out at the company headquarters. He needed the familiar itchiness of his leather briefcase, the hum of the building, even if he didn't want to stay. Inside, the reception area was bright and impersonal. Secretaries smiled politely. People recognized him, greeted him deferentially. For a moment, it felt like old armor. Then he remembered her words from this morning. They need stability, the babies, and her. He sat in an executive chair overlooking the lobby. Window glass made him feel small again. His phone buzzed. It was his assistant. "Meeting tomorrow? Investor dinner Friday at 6. He looked at the texts and deleted them, one by one. Pressed delete until the lines vanished. No notifications, no reminders, only silence and memory. The phone vibrated again. A message from So-Yun. "Thank you for dinner today. It was nice." He stared. A single word, "nice," felt like hope. He typed, "I'll be with you soon." As he exited the building, the rain had stopped, leaving the city glistening like a mirror. Neon signs pulsed with life, but he walked toward home, toward the clinic. The distance between them felt smaller now, as if decisions could shape reality. Maybe he'd just taken the first real step toward who he wanted to be. Inside that taxi, he closed his eyes again. He thought of the baby's heartbeats, their tiny rhythms like promises, of her quiet thank you, of the 1,000 ways he'd let her down, and of one choice, one simple, terrifying choice, to show up, to stay. Tonight, he wouldn't sleep. He'd plan meals, follow doctor's notes, learn everything he could. Because the next time he saw her, he wanted her to know he wasn't just back. He was all in. And as the cab turned a corner toward her street, he felt something new, more fragile than love, more powerful than guilt. Resolve. For her. For them. For every unspoken word he'd regret if he didn't say now. He enters through the side door. Soft lights guide him down a hallway where quiet laughter echoes from another room. Families waiting, babies playing. He takes a deep breath, steadying himself, then slips into So-Yun's room. She's sitting on the edge of the bed, sorting through a stack of medical pamphlets. Her eyebrows draw together as she reads. He notices the strain in her posture. Tension, worry, something unspoken. "Ji-hoon," she says without looking up. The slight tightening in her voice feels like a test. He approaches carefully and kneels in front of her. "I brought something." He opens his briefcase and pulls out a worn wedding photo in a silver frame, the edges faint with time. He places it in her hands. Her fingers trace the image. Themselves, younger, eyes bright with hope. Not money, not status. Hope. "This is not a promise to go back," he says softly. "It's a reminder of who we were and who we can still be." His voice shakes. He looks up, meeting her gaze. "I want to be better. For our children. For you." Her eyes glisten. She sets the photo aside and pulls from her bag a child's first name guide. A soft pastel booklet filled with tiny footprints and space to jot names. She hands it to him. "I don't have names yet," she whispers. "But they need names. What will you choose?" His throat tightens. He takes the booklet, notepad in his pocket this time. "I want to learn," he says. "Help me pick." At that moment, the doctor appears, breaking the moment. "Pardon the interruption, but there's something we need to discuss." His tone is measured, serious. "The babies are developing well, but So-Yun's blood pressure has been elevated. We need to consider a brief hospitalization to monitor them." A sudden hush falls. The world tilts again. Ji-hoon freezes. She drops the booklet. Her face drains color. Fear and responsibility crash over him. He reaches for her hand. "We'll do whatever it takes." The doctor nods at Ji-hoon. "Can you stay with her?" His world shrinks to that single question. Without hesitation, he answers, "Yes, I'll stay." Within minutes, they're led to a private room. Sterile, quiet, empty save for 2 beds. Nurses move with efficient calm. Ji-hoon follows behind So-Yun, arms unexpectedly steady when he guides her to the bed. She settles in, duvet pulled high. He perches on the side, watching her. Fear trembles in her eyes. He leans forward. "You're not alone," he whispers, brushing her hair from her forehead. "I'm right here." Night settles outside. Beeping machines hum. The white walls feel too quiet. He sits there, heart pounding, his hand on hers. He marvels at how this feels more meaningful than any board meeting, any deal. Everything he ever wanted shrinks to this bedside vigil. Hours pass. She drifts to sleep. He watches the monitors, blood pressure, heartbeats, reads the numbers like stock tickers of their future. He thinks of his mother's call. "Don't be distracted by children." But this is no distraction. This is everything. At 2 a.m., a nurse re-enters. The readings are stable. She whispers to Ji-hoon, offering a small smile. He nods, eyes heavy with relief. She leans in to speak quietly to So-Yun. He watches her back rise and fall. Soft night lights cast shadows across her face. He remembers every word undone, every moment missed. He thinks of the life inside her, 2 tiny futures waiting for them. He leans forward and presses his forehead to the back of her hand. "I'm here," he breathes. "I'll always be here." So-Yun stirs, grips his hand, squeezes once. He squeezes back. The silent pledge passes between them. Survival, protection, love rediscovered in crisis. The dawn's first light filters through curtains. He's still there, half asleep in the chair. She awakens, blinking at the soft glow. Their eyes meet. He offers her the name booklet again, now open to a blank page marked A and J. On, Jian, Ji-hoon on, their initials, shared. He gives a tentative smile. She returns it with trembling fingers. "Ji-hoon," he nods. "On and Ji-woo," he whispers, testing sounds. Her lips curve faintly. "I like those." Relief washes over her face. "For our boys." They exit into the morning hush. A delicate tension hovers as they reach the private car he arranged. She blinks in the cool breeze. His hand lifts to brush a stray strand of hair from her face. It's the smallest act, but it trembles with meaning. Care, presence, love reclaimed. "So," he begins, voice soft and low. "Today is your bed rest order. The doctor said you need to stay at home." His brown eyes search hers. "Let me take care of you." She takes a deep breath. Ji-hoon, this is a lot still." Her fingers twist the strap of her purse. She looks vulnerable, a fragile new world around her. "What will you tell the office?" "Your mother." He swallows. He knows this is the crossroads. "I told them I'm on indefinite leave. Priorities changed." He watches her reaction, thinking of his mother's disappointed tone still lingering, but it no longer terrifies him. She studies him, uncertainty flashing and fading. "Promise me you won't let them drag you back." "I promise." He brushes her hand with his thumb. "For every appointment, every meal, every restless night, I'll stay." They get into the car. He buckles her seatbelt, then slides in next to her. She glances over, half expecting the old coldness, but instead finds a warmth, determined yet gentle. "I'm hungry," she murmurs after a moment. "Can you make daikon soup again?" His chest lifts. "Yes, tonight." The drive home passes in a delicate silence. He watches her subtly. The way she breathes slower in exhaustion, the slight lump of her profile. Suddenly, he wonders if she feels it too, the fragile rebirth of trust. They arrive at the house he prepared, a modest rental near the clinic. Not flashy, but warm. Soft sunlight seeps through sheer curtains, illuminating a small dining table set with simple dishes. He's already arranged cups of mild tea and bowls for soup. She steps inside, unsteady, and he guides her to a chair. "I'm making the soup now," he says, retreating to the kitchenette. The aroma begins to fill the air. He sets a soft towel around her shoulders when she returns. She watches him move, the way he peels vegetables, measures carefully. It reminds her how he used to study her face during weddings dinners, as if he worshipped each line. Now, in this quiet kitchen, he's doing the same, only for her and their babies. Dinner is silent, but not tense. He tastes first, watching for her nod. He pauses. "How's it?" he asks quietly, heart fluttering. She takes a slow spoonful and allows a small smile. "It's perfect," she whispers, relief in her eyes, like a sigh of forgiveness. His shoulders relax. For the first time, he feels truly seen and accepted. They finish eating, and she leans back thoughtfully. "I'm scared, Ji-hoon," she admits. "What if something happens? What if I can't do this?" He reaches across the table and takes her hand. His voice falters with emotion. "I'm here, every step. I'm not walking away again." His eyes shine with determination and a tenderness that had long been buried under ambition. "We'll face it together, whatever comes." A fragile moment of peace settles. Yet beneath it lies the ever-present question of what next, how to balance love and obligation, family and legacy. Ji-hoon feels the thrilling ache of a journey just begun. As she rests on the couch afterward, he slips away for a moment and returns with the photo frame. He holds it before her. "Would you like it here?" he asks. She looks, love and caution mixing in her gaze. She nods softly. He places it on the mantel, beside two tiny pairs of baby socks he folded earlier. He stands back, heart pounding, watching their new life emerge in quiet symbols. From the window, sunlight blooms golden across them. They don't speak. She rests against his shoulder. He holds her. Together, they breathe in hope, fear and love interwoven. One late afternoon, he returned to the clinic alone, slipping through the corridor to speak privately with the doctor. "Doctor, may I speak with you?" His voice was low, urgent. She looked up from the chart. "Yes, Mr. Han?" He swallowed, glancing over his shoulder. The hallway was empty. "I need to understand more about So-Yun's condition. I want to help, but I need to know everything. I can't protect her if I don't know what we're facing." The doctor studied him, measuring intent. Then she nodded. "I appreciate that. Her blood pressure remains high intermittently. Additionally, there's a potential concern. She's exhibiting early signs of preeclampsia risk. It's not conclusive yet, but we must monitor closely." He exhaled. "How soon?" "Another week. If it persists, we may require more intensive intervention. Possibly hospitalization again or medication. It's serious." Ji-hoon clasped his hands. "Tell me exactly what you need me to do." She pointed to the chart. "Dedicate time to home monitoring, stress management, daily readings, maintaining calm environment. No strenuous activity. Ideally, have a support system present." He nodded, determination setting in his expression. "I'll be there every step." Later that evening, he returned to the apartment. So-Yun was in the living room, curled on the couch with her feet propped up, eyes closed. When she sensed him, she opened her eyes, weary. He crossed to her slowly, carrying a folder. "I spoke with the doctor today. It's about your blood pressure. We need to monitor at home for the next week. Same as before, but more carefully. Her chest tightened. Again. He sat beside her, taking her hand. Yes, but you're strong. And I promise, I'll do it with you. Her voice trembled. I don't want to worry you. He pressed her hand. You don't worry me. Fighting for our babies doesn't make you a burden. Her gaze softened, and she closed her eyes again. Okay. He handed her the folder, a pregnancy chart, temperature logs, medication guidelines, dietary plans. She opened it, flipping slowly through the pages. I want you to relax, he said. His voice softened. This week, no stress. I took off time from work. I'll handle everything. Meals, medicines, readings. She turned to face him. Her voice was quiet, vulnerable. I don't know how to thank you. He squeezed her hand, wiping away a stray tear she hadn't known fell. You don't have to. Just let me in. She stared at him as if seeing him anew. Over the next days, they sank into a fragile harmony. Each morning, he would take her blood pressure, record it, then prepare rice porridge for breakfast. Both of them would share quiet conversation. What book she was reading, the names they were still debating, the possibility of one boy, one girl. One afternoon, as he prepared lunch, his phone buzzed with news. An email titled Important. Han Group Succession. His heartbeat thundered. His fingers froze over the screen. He weighed the choice. The email demanded his return, his mother's request. His mother's voice echoed in his memory. But here, the moment hung in the kitchen. He looked at So-Yun's profile. She drifted sleepily on the couch, hand on her belly. Choosing to ignore the email, he turned it off. In that silence, they both felt the decision settle. Yet the calm stirred tension beneath. Would the company accept his absence? Would his mother retaliate? Would he lose control of the empire he built? That night, after dinner, So-Yun caught him in the living room, staring at the unopened email on his screen. She approached him softly. You didn't open it. He nodded. His voice was low, resolute. I won't. Not yet. This week, I need to be here. Tears shimmered in her eyes. She reached out and touched his cheek. I'm proud of you. How do you feel? He asked, voice steady yet gentle. She turned, vulnerability shining in her eyes. I'm okay physically, but mentally, her voice trailed off. She folded her arms protectively over her belly. He sensed the walls rising again. I know it's hard, he said softly. Trust hasn't been easy. I broke it. She swallowed. I want to trust, she whispered. But every time I start to feel safe, I'm terrified you'll leave again, that you'll disappear like before. Her words struck him, a sudden, sharp pain. He reached for her hands. She did not pull away, but she did not meet his eyes. Tell me what I can do to show you. I'm serious, he pleaded. I'll schedule every appointment. I'll call you in the middle of the day just to hear your voice. What do you need? She stared at their joined hands, the swell of her belly warming between them. Consistency, she said quietly, and honesty. No more silent sacrifices. If we're in this together, I need to know I can rely on you. He nodded, voice choked with emotion. You will. Promise. I'll tell you when things at work shift me. Even if I have to say, I'm stressed. And if I ever get pulled back, I'll talk to you first. A tear escaped her eye, and she brushed it away. That's all I ask. He brushed it with his thumb. You deserve that so much more. His voice cracked. They sat there, close in wordless understanding. The sun dipped lower, shadows pooling around them. Uncertainty lingered, but its edge softened. A sudden ping startled them. A notification on Ji-hoon's phone. His heart stopped. He thought it was another summons from the office. He glanced at the screen. It was a photo message from an unknown number. He hesitated, hand trembling, before opening it. His breath caught. It was a picture of So-Yun from earlier that day, walking through the hospital corridor with a concerned male doctor closely behind. Attached was a message. You think she's your secret? Ji-hoon's pulse thundered in his throat. He stared at So-Yun, panic rising in his chest. Where did this come from? Her eyes widened. She took the phone, her calm mask shattering. "I didn't send that," she whispered, voice raw. "I don't know who this is." Fear turned the air electric. Betrayal? A threat? Ji-hoon stood, stepping back as if the walls themselves were closing in on them. His protective instinct flared. "We need to find out who sent this," he said, voice low and urgent. "I swear, I won't let anyone hurt you or our babies." So-yeon looked at the phone, then at him. Her expression flickered, fear, confusion, hurt, but also trust. "Okay," she whispered, voice quivering, "but I'm scared." He sat again beside her, pulling her close, one arm around her shoulders, the other holding the phone between them like a shield. "I'm here," he murmured into her hair. "We'll face this together." Thunder rolled outside as night descended, a distant storm echoing the turmoil within their apartment. As they held each other, the message's shadow fell over them, signaling that love and vulnerability now came with real-world dangers. They both knew the path ahead would be steeper, the trust brittle. He slides out of bed, careful not to wake her, and fetches coffee. When she wakes fully, she's pale but determined. "I need to call that doctor," she says softly, showing him the photo again. He might know who it is. Ji-hoon's heart accelerates. He pulls out his own phone. "Let me do it," he says. "They'll take my call more seriously." She kneels beside him, her voice trembling. "No, you know my fear. I don't want the clinic invaded by my past. I have to do it." He nods, struggling to hide his terror. She dials. He stays close, tension coiling around them. The line picks up. "Hello, Dr. Kim? Is So-yeon Park. I'm the patient, pregnant, high risk." Her voice shakes, and he watches the doctor's face shift. Concern, assurance, relief. She listens, nods, responds. "Yes, I'm sure it was this morning. Thank you." They hang up together. She exhales, trembling. "He said there was an unauthorized visitor asking questions. Someone took my chart, took my photo. Clinic administration is investigating." Ji-hoon clenches her hand. "We'll find out who," he says, voice fierce. "I'll talk to security, hire someone. No one threatens you or the babies." Tears fill her eyes. "I know," she whispers. "But I'm so tired, Ji-hoon. Just promise me we'll be safe." He draws her close, voice rough with emotion. "I promise." Over the next hours, they coordinate with the clinic security team. He receives a list of visitors that morning, all unfamiliar names. Nothing conclusive. He brings the report home. So-yeon reads it, tracing each name in trembling handwriting. He looks at her, guilt tightening his chest. If he'd fought harder before, this wouldn't be happening. "I won't let this define your pregnancy," he says. "We'll be vigilant." He places a gentle kiss on her forehead. She closes her eyes. "Thank you." They spend the afternoon at home. Each time she steps into another room, his eyes follow. He texts his assistant, "Cancel all trips. I'm off until further notice." That evening, he prepares dinner. Baked fish, soft spinach, rice. She sits at the table, too exhausted to eat. He gently places a plate before her. "Try a little?" he says, his tone more gentle than ever. She sips the broth, sets down her spoon. "You're incredible," she whispers, voice breaking. He simply watches her, the weight of protection heavy on his shoulders. Late at night, he sets a baby monitor by the bed. He checks it twice before sleeping, glancing at the lens pointed protectively toward where she rests. She rolls closer, anchoring him in the dark. Hours later, he jolts awake to a ping on his phone. It's from his private investigator, a CCTV screenshot. A shadowy figure looms outside the clinic at that same hour. No face visible, but the walk is familiar. He opens his archived footage, several minutes of the stranger trailing So-yeon at the corridor's end. In one, the figure raises a phone to photograph her belly. His heart hammers. He wakes So-yeon. She sits up groggily as he shows her. Terror replaces exhaustion. She covers her mouth. "He followed me from my car," she whispers. I remember. Ji-hoon grips her shoulders. We'll go to the police. I'll get restraining orders. He won't get near you again. She nods, tears pooling. I'm scared. He locks eyes with her. Then we'll fight back together. He calls the local precinct. He demands to file a report. He accompanies her at dawn, watching as So-yeon gives her statement. He holds her hand through each pause, each quiet moment of fear. Outside, the world goes on. For them, nothing feels simple anymore. When back home, they collapse into each other, more exhausted than ever. But in the shared trembling, there's unity. Two souls tethered by fear and devotion. As night descends and they settle into bed, he wraps his arm around her, steady and unwavering. No matter what comes, we're stronger together. She nestles close, eyes damp but resolute. Promise me. Her voice is small but firm. He kisses her temple. I promise. A storm rages outside, rain drumming against glass. But inside, they hold fast to each other, and to a fragile hope that love, vigilance, and trust can shield them from the darkness seeking to intrude. He sits beside her but gives her space. She gently touches the soft strands of yarn, her voice quiet. The police said they might identify the stalker from the CCTV, but it could take weeks. His heart clenches at her resignation. He places a hand over hers. I'm still waiting. I've arranged further security, alarms by the front door, a guard shift rotating nights. I won't let this go. His voice is firm, but when he says her name, So-yeon, it trembles with worry. Her eyes fill again as she meets his gaze. I'm scared of what's at the door, she admits. Not of strangers, but of my past catching up. He exhales, running a thumb over her knuckles. Then we face it together. She sets down the knitting needles. There's someone I haven't told you about. She withdraws from his hold, folding her arms. The soft morning light turns harsh in her eyes. Fear spikes in him. Who? Her voice shakes. A man named Min-woo. He was there before you, before everything. His breath stops, but he forces calm. He has to hear her. She continues, tears falling now. He pursued me when we dated after college, and then, after I left him, he tried to control me. He was possessive. I escaped, but I never reported him. Silence. His world pauses. Min-woo, a name neither expected. His hand hovers, then steadies. Did he threaten you lately? She shakes her head, voice barely above a whisper. No, but after I moved back to the city, I felt once or twice like someone watched me, not just photographs but watching. He grips her hand. I'll find him. I'll make sure he never sees you again. She leans into him, leaning her head against his shoulder. Thank you. That afternoon, Ji-hoon instructs the guards to scour recent visitor logs of places So-yeon visited, workshops, cafes, the laundromat. He sits at their table with maps, lists, and photos all blurred. His assistant arrives and kneels. We need to track Min-woo. His last known address is here. The aide points to a small building near the riverfront. Ji-hoon closes his eyes, vision blurred with tears he has no strength to hide. Authorize a background check. Surveillance cameras, neighbors' statements, whether he's returned. His assistant nods. While she leaves, Ji-hoon wraps his arms around himself, as though he could hold himself whole. The silence crashes in waves. He thinks of So-yeon's guarded expression, the hats she's knitting. Their babies will arrive soon. He won't let Min-woo ruin that. The evening brings a fragile calm. So-yeon curls into him on the sofa again. He's studying the maps, coffee untouched. She lifts her head and looks at him. You don't have to do this alone. He pulls her closer. I want to. Rain returns that night. Patters on the windows, soft, sympathetic. They fall asleep huddled on the couch, fears wrapped in unity. At 2 a.m., his phone vibrates. His assistant's number. His heart pounds. He answers. Sir, I've got something. CCTV from near that riverfront laundromat. I see a man matching Min-woo's old photo loitering. His blood turns to ice. Send me the frame. His vision blurs as the image pops up. A man leaning against a wall, cigarette in hand, face hidden but stance unmistakable. He looks around the bedroom, So-yeon asleep, peaceful. He leans over, brushing a kiss to her forehead. She might wake. He whispers, "Go back to sleep. I'll handle this." He steps into the hallway echoing with rain's rhythm. He fetches the framed wedding photo from the mantel. Fingers tremble as he picks it up, reminder of everything worth fighting for. In the living room, he places the photo beside the baby hats, to anchor himself in love before moving into danger. He calls softly to their private investigator, voice low, "Find me Min-woo's current location. Tonight." Outside, rain intensifies, masking his footsteps as he moves to the study. He boots up his laptop and begins cross-referencing records. He returns to the sleeping apartment. Every shadow could be a threat, but where fear lives, so does resolve. He pauses by the baby hats, running his finger over them. "You're coming soon," he whispers at the photo. "I'll see you soon." Tomorrow he'll face Min-woo. Tonight he steels himself. The rain drums louder, as if urging him forward. He knocks again, louder. Moments stretch. His phone buzzes with a text. He's armed. Every muscle tightens. He exhales slowly, only once. Knocks again. The door opens a crack. A figure's silhouette. He catches the flash of a gun belt. It's Min-woo. Cold stare. "What do you want?" Ji-hoon steps forward, voice quivering but controlled. "You're taking it too far. You took pictures of So-yeon. Threatened her. You have to leave her alone." Min-woo smirks, shoulder shifting. "She's mine. She belongs to me, not you." The words cut like a blade. Ji-hoon's blood runs hot. He grips his jacket's pocket phone. "You're done. Go away. Or I'll call the police. Press charges." Min-woo chuckles, steps forward into the hallway's dim light. Just enough so Ji-hoon sees the contempt in his eyes. "You think you scare me? You walk away from everything, your company, your status, for this, her? Please." Ji-hoon's chest tightens with rage and something deeper. Fear. But he steadies himself. "I'm not walking away from her. And if you don't leave now, I'll make sure they lock you away." Min-woo steps out fully, pacing near a rickety bookshelf. The gun belt reveals only a holster, but Ji-hoon can see the handle. A threat. "Try it," Min-woo whispers. Ji-hoon holds his phone. Ready. "I will," he says softly. "But last chance. Go. Now." Min-woo hesitates, then laughs, like a bitter echo. "This isn't over." He retreats inside, slams the door. Ji-hoon hears the deadbolt click. His fist trembles against the frame. Standing in the silent hallway, adrenaline rattling through him, he finally calls the police and exits to sit on the curb, chest heaving, back against the cold building. Dawn is a pale glow behind him. Back at home, So-yeon wakes to a quiet apartment, unnaturally still. She searches for him, finally finding him on the couch, coat still on. His cheeks are streaked with fatigue and dirt, eyes closed, elbow resting on the coffee table before the baby hats. She gently wakes him. "Ji-hoon." Her voice breaks the silence. He blinks open his eyes, catching the weight there. He reaches for her hand. "It's done." She swallows hard. "What happened?" Her voice trembles. He sits up, draws her to him. "I found him," he says quietly. "Told him to leave. He threatened me. I called the police. They took him away." She wraps tight around him, tears of relief and fear mingling on her cheeks. He holds her as if she might shatter. "I'm so sorry I brought this danger," she whispers. "I didn't mean for this to happen." He presses her to his chest. "You didn't. I'll protect you. And the babies." His voice is fierce with promise. They hold each other as morning light spies through the curtains, fragile but growing stronger. The day ahead more dangerous, but theirs to face together. Later that morning, authorities arrive to question Ji-hoon for a full report. He stands beside So-yeon, one arm around her. As they describe Min-woo's threats and movements, she trembles but steadies, leaning into him for courage. He guides her with quiet support through every question. When they leave the precinct, A social worker offers resources and counseling. Ji-hoon promises to use them. So-yeon's eyes soften in gratitude. Back home, Ji-hoon prepares the bed they'd set up for the clinic monitors. He takes her blood pressure, logs each number, and whispers, "You're safe here." She watches him, heart full. "Thank you," she says, "for everything." He smiles, though exhaustion lingers. "We're in this together." That evening, they sit by the window, soaking in the calm after the storm. He places the framed wedding photo near the baby hats on the table. They match it with 2 baby onesies folded beneath the hats, small, hopeful symbols of family. "So, the names?" he whispers. She thinks. An and Ji-woo still feel right. He nods, tears in his eyes. Perfect. As they settle in for the night, the apartment quiets around them. Outside, distant sirens remind them that danger once came. But inside, they have strength, love, and shared purpose. Ji-hoon wraps his arm around So-yeon, the baby monitor resting close. Ji-hoon's phone buzzed again. He eyed the screen warily. A news alert. He swallowed hard and tapped it. Tycoon's ex-wife in danger. Stalking scandal. What he did next surprised everyone. The words burned on the screen. He looked up. So-yeon stared at him, eyes questioning. "They found out," she said quietly. Ji-hoon exhaled, setting the phone face down. "Yes." She stood, pacing the length of the room, fingertips tracing the wooden floor. "What will they say? That I'm attention-seeking? That I used you again?" Her voice trembled. He stood and gently steered her back to the couch. "They'll say things that aren't true," he said, voice firm. "We'll control this narrative." Her eyes searched his, frightened. "How? I don't want my story splashed across tabloids. I just want privacy." He reached for her hand. "We share only what we need to. I'll issue a statement, acknowledging the danger, thanking the authorities, focusing on our baby's well-being. No drama, no sensationalism." She nodded slowly, leaning into him. "Okay, but I'm terrified." He wrapped his arms around her, whispering, "I know, and I'll shield you." Morning brought a fragile calm. Ji-hoon prepared a brief statement while So-yeon slept, exhausted by illness and stress. He drafted it carefully, choosing words that balanced transparency and dignity. "We are grateful for the swift actions of the authorities. Our priority is the safety and well-being of our family. We kindly request privacy at this time." Late afternoon, his assistant brought over draft press releases and compiled media inquiries. He scanned them while So-yeon rested. Every headline twisted their reality into speculation. Tycoon versus stalker. Domestic drama. Pregnant ex-wife in scandalous spotlight. Ji-hoon pressed his forehead to the table. "This is wrong," he murmured. "We never asked for this." His assistant placed a reassuring hand on his shoulder. "But we can shape it. A press conference, controlled environment. You stand by her. You show stability." He realized how much he cared, not about optics but about her. "Let's do it," he said. "But only one question, safety. That's the message." That evening, they stood before a small assembly of press. Cameras glinting, microphones pointed. So-yeon held Ji-hoon's hand, visibly nervous. He gave her a small nod. She took a breath. "My name is So-yeon Park," she began with quiet strength. Her voice was soft but steady. "I stand here tonight because I want to thank the authorities and especially my husband, Ji-hoon, for protecting me and our unborn children." A flurry of camera clicks. They answered only the one prepared question. "Are you safe now?" So-yeon held out her other hand to Ji-hoon. She inhaled and said, "Yes, we are safe. We have each other. And we wish only to focus on welcoming our little ones in peace." She smiled, a fragile beacon of light. He added, "Our gratitude extends to everyone who has respected our request for privacy. We will share updates only when necessary. Thank you." The press conference ended with polite applause. They left side by side, walking through a curtained hallway to their car. So-yeon exhaled, tears glistening. He wrapped an arm around her through the car window, whispering, "You were incredible." She pressed her cheek to his chest. "I wouldn't have if you hadn't been there." Home felt like sanctuary again. He poured her a cup of chamomile tea as she sat on the couch, drained but relieved. He sat beside her. "Do you think it helped?" she asked, voice small. He handed her the tea. "Yes, you were brave. We showed strength without exposing our wounds." She sipped and nodded. "I feel heard," she admitted, "but exhausted." He tucked a blanket around her shoulders. "Rest now. I'll be here." They sat in silence. Beyond the curtains, city lights pulsed. Inside, two people, battle-worn and unbowed, held each other tight, their future still uncertain, but united. Whatever came next, they knew they could face it together. A faint beeping begins, their home monitor. Ji-hoon leans forward, checking the numbers. His heart tightens, her blood pressure is elevated again. He lets out a steadying breath and places a steadying hand on her arm. "You're reading," he whispers, voice heavy with concern. "It's higher than yesterday." She sighs, tired, but nods. "I feel okay." Tired. She rubs her belly, voice small. "The babies are moving." He swallows, rose-colored fear blooming in his chest. "I'm calling the doctor." So-yeon tries to sit up, but he places a firm hand on her shoulder. "No," he says gently. "You stay right here." Her brow furrows. "Ji-hoon will..." He cuts her off softly. "I'll do it." He retrieves his phone and dials. Within minutes, the doctor calls back. Soft-spoken, professional. "Mr. Han, the pressure readings are concerning. We're seeing early signs of preeclampsia. We need you to bring her in immediately." His breath catches. "Right away." He hangs up and returns to So-yeon. His expression is taut. "We need to go," he says quietly. "Now." Tears pool in her eyes. "Again?" she whispers. He kneels in front of her, pressing her hands. "I know. I'm so sorry. But I'll be with you. Every step." She nods, voice choked. "Okay." Within the hour, they're in the car, Ji-hoon steering while she clutches the handful of baby name pages. She trembles with fear. Her voice cracks. "What if?" He reaches over, taking her hand. "We face this together. You're not alone." The clinic pulses with urgency. Nurses lead her directly to a private room. He trails behind, voice calm but determined. "Stay here. I'll be back in a moment." Alone, he watches staff prepare an IV and hook in the monitor. So-yeon gives him a shaky nod. The air is thick with antiseptic and tension. He stands beside her bed as the doctor enters with concerned eyes. "Mrs. Park, Mr. Han, we need to admit you for observation and begin medication to stabilize your blood pressure. It's the safest course for you and the babies." So-yeon grips Ji-hoon's hand, her voice trembling. Is this serious?" The doctor crouches in front of her. "It's manageable with early treatment. We caught it in time," he says softly. "But we can't ignore it." Ji-hoon squeezes her hand. "Whatever it takes," he murmurs. She closes her eyes. "I'm scared." He kisses her forehead. "Me too. But I'm right here." They exchange a look beneath harsh fluorescent lights. Love and fear entwined. He takes her other hand, anchoring her. Evening sets in around them as she lies in a hospital bed. He sits in a plastic chair, fatigue heavy on his face. A nurse enters to check her vitals. While he stares at her, every heartbeat a silent prayer. Afterward, So-yeon turns to him, tears shimmering. "I feel guilty." He leans forward. "Guilty? You have nothing to apologize for." Her voice breaks. This is my fault." He shakes his head fiercely. "No, this is life. And I love you. And them. More than I ever have. We'll get through this." The nurse returns with medication. Ji-hoon aids her, pressing the IV line into her hand. She winces but nods bravely. He strokes her hair, voice soft. "Better." She manages a small smile. "Better because you're here." Night deepens. So-yeon sleeps fitfully. Ji-hoon stays by her side, later sitting on the floor beside the bed, head resting on the frame. He drifts into half-sleep. A beep from the monitor jolts him awake. An alert. Blood pressure has spiked again. He springs to his feet, pressing the button to alert the nurse. Seconds feel like lifetimes. A doctor rushes in, adjusts the medication. Ji-hoon grips So-yeon's hand as if his life depends on it. She's responding, the doctor says after a slow moment. We'll continue the regimen and monitor overnight. He exhales, relief mingled with lingering tension. He strokes her hair as she stirs. She murmurs, "I'm sorry." He presses a gentle kiss to her temple. "Stop apologizing. You're safe. We're safe. That's what matters." They hold hands through the monitors. Outside, the hospital hums through the night. Inside, every alarm, every soft murmur, reinforces that they're together in this, grounded by love, awed by fear, ready to fight for their family. "Ji-hoon?" she murmurs, voice fragile. He kneels beside her bed, brushing a lock of hair from her forehead. "How are you feeling now?" Her eyes fill with worry. "Is it still preeclampsia?" Her words tremble. He closes his eyes, heart aching. "Yes, but they say we've managed the worst. You're stronger than it appears." He pauses, then adds quietly, "And I'm here." Tears slip down her cheeks. "I don't want to be a burden anymore." He gently lifts her chin, tilting her face toward his. "You are never a burden. This..." He swipes to include the machines, the tension. "This is our life now, and I'm in it all the way." She inhales sharply, like she's grasping for courage. "I'm Scar." Addition. He takes both her hands in his. "Me too. But fear is part of this. It doesn't weaken us, it shows we care. We fight because we love." A nurse enters with updated charts. He stands, leaving her in capable hands, but his concern follows him as he checks the readings. Everything is stable. He returns to her side, relieved, and sits. She swallows hard. "I need to talk." He leans in, his whole body listening. She exhales. "When I was admitted last night, I felt worse. I thought I lost them." Her voice breaks. "I panicked." He clasps her hands tighter. "But they're okay." She nods, tears slipping. "But I panicked because, and I never told you this, I almost blamed you. That you brought me here, that my world got turned upside down because of us." His chest clenches. "Son, you're not a curse. You're a miracle." He strokes her cheek. "Everything I do for you. For them." She shakes her head. "No, I mean this life, this risk. I blamed our beginning. That if things had been different, I wouldn't be in this hospital bed." He exhales deeply. "There's no difference without risk. I choose today this in a heartbeat, with all its fear, because it means we're together." She studies his eyes, searching. "Even if I lose you, even if something happens." He stands and walks to the window, placing his palm on the glass. Distant dawn light casts his silhouette. He turns back slowly, voice steady but heavy. "I'll never leave you." His next words choked but unwavering. "If we lose one of us, I'll still stay. For our family." She bursts into tears. He crosses and holds her, pressing his cheek to her hair, kneeling beside the bed. She whispers into his jacket, "I love you." He kisses her hair. "I love you too, more than I ever knew was possible." They hold each other as monitors beep on in the background, a steady reminder of what's at stake. And in that hospital room, amid the fear and devotion, they find the strength to keep fighting. For their babies, for each other, and for the family they dared to rebuild. Morning light warms the room once more. The doctor enters, smiling for the first time in days. He approaches their bed. "I'm pleased to inform you," he says, voice hopeful. "Readings are improved. If stability continues, we can begin planning for a slow discharge later this week." They exchange glances, relief, disbelief, joy. He grips her hand, voice steady. "We'll be home soon." Her smile is radiant through exhaustion. "Together." He glances at her. "They're stable," he whispers, fear still lingering in his eyes. "The doctor said we can proceed with a home birth plan, just as soon as they're ready." His voice shakes with cautious relief. She smiles weakly, placing her hand atop his. They're finally coming home, finally making this family real. They stand side by side, watching the small monitor flicker. She leans her head on his shoulder. "Are you sure I can do this? At home?" He wraps his arm around her waist. "You've done more than most could imagine. You've healed, fought, and loved with everything you have. You can do this." A sudden noise rings from the monitor's alert. Ji-hoon's heart jumps. So-yeon squeezes his hand. "It's just a check," he says softly. Reassuringly, he responds to the on-screen prompt and types notes. The sound fades. Her breath relaxes, and she releases a shaky laugh. "You're like a nurse now." He leans down to kiss her temple. "If it keeps them safe, I'll wear scrubs." He pulls back, serious and tender. "I want to be there for every moment." Contraction, birth, first cry. Tears drift into her eyes. "I want you there too." Her voice is soft yearning, hopeful, terrified all at once. They share a quiet moment. Then he gently places the swaddle aside and moves to the bed, pulling her into his arms. "Whatever happens, we face it together." That evening, they prepare the final details. The birthing tub, soft towels. Their playlist full of lullabies and low music. Candles dot the room, low light rippling across pale walls. In the hallway, the nursery stands ready. Twin cribs dressed in pastel, the onesies folded neatly. The apartment feels fragile and sacred all at once. As night falls, So-yeon shifts uncomfortably. Ji-hoon rushes to her side. "Are you okay?" She breathes through a wave of discomfort. "I think this could be it." His eyes widen, but he smiles, grounding himself. "I'll call the midwife." She rises slowly, supported by his hand. The air between them hums with anticipation and fear. She glances at the nursery door. "This is real." He kisses her hand, voice hushed with emotion. "Yes, it is." The midwife arrives in the dimly lit apartment, accompanied by an assistant carrying medical supplies. The birthing tub stands ready in the living room. So-yeon moves through contractions, focused and determined. Ji-hoon stays close, whispering encouragement between each wave. "You're doing so well," he murmurs, brushing her hair. Tears glisten in his eyes as he watches her strength. "I'm so proud of you." She presses into him between contractions. "Thank you for being here." He holds her, anchoring her with love and gentle presence. Always. Hours pass, time unspooling slowly. By dawn, the moment arrives. So-yeon breathes, water-keyed, and through tears and sweat, the first baby cries, soft and wailing. Ji-hoon presses his forehead to So-yeon's shoulder, tears streaming freely. He holds the baby, voice trembling. "Welcome on." The second baby follows moments later. A sharper, stronger cry. Ji-hoon holds the second baby, softer. "And Ji-woo." So-yeon lays back, spent and radiant. "They're ours." He kisses her forehead, voice reverent. "All ours." In the quiet aftermath, they gather on the sofa, So-yeon cradling on. Ji-hoon, the new mother, cradles Ji-woo. The soft cries of the twins punctuate the silence. Outside, dawn breaks fully. So-yeon rests her head on his shoulder. "I was afraid," she admits. He brushes her hair. "I know, and you were amazing." His voice is tender, protective. "We did this together." She smiles at the twins, then at him. Together. His heart swells with love and relief. He leans forward, pressing a soft kiss between their brows. "Thank you for choosing this life with me." She smiles, tears in her eyes. "Thank you for holding my hand through it all. I never imagined this." She breathes, voice trembling between joy and fatigue. "Two of them ours." He smiles, warm and gentle. "They are gifts, proof of everything. Love, courage, healing." She turns slightly, leaning her head on his shoulder, eyes drawn to On's small fist curling around her finger. "Do you think We'll manage all this? Her voice is hopeful, tentative. He glances between her and the twins. I know we will. We've faced everything else, and we've won. Tears gather in her eyes. I'm so grateful you stayed. He pauses, taking in her words, the trembling note in her voice. His chest tightens. I stayed because of you, because of them. I won't turn away again. She searches his face. Does that mean? Her voice trails as the question forms. He lifts his hand to her cheek. It means, he says softly, I want to stay forever, not because I have to, but because I choose to, as a father, as your partner, as your home. Her breath catches. She reaches over to the low table where he's placed the name booklet beside a single red rose and their wedding photo. She swallows. It's a proposal. He nods, relief and love written all over his face. Yes, not for show or public declaration, but here, with our children, with you, he murmurs. Will you do me the honor of marrying me again? Not for families or obligations, but for us. Silence falls, a gentle, sacred pause. The babies sigh in their sleep. So-Yun's tears spill. With trembling fingers, she tucks a strand of hair behind her ear. Yes. She whispers, voice breaking and radiant. Yes, Ji-hoon. 1,000 times yes. He closes the distance, pressing a kiss to her lips. Slow, intimate. A seal on the vow that began long ago and was reborn in hardship and love. He lifts her hand to reveal a simple ring he'd worn on his finger since the twins' birth. Only this one fits now. On you. She laughs softly through tears. Perfect. They cradle each other, the babies, the promise in their embrace. The apartment holds them in warm light. Outside, life carries on. Inside, the world, unforgiving, unsparing, has transformed into their sanctuary. And as the day stretches toward evening, they prepare not just for a re-wedding, but for a lifetime together. Stronger, wiser, loved, and never again willing to walk away. In the living room, So-Yun stirs, sending On and Ji-woo's small heads bobbing beside her. He pauses, kneeling gently at her side. He brushes his finger across her cheek. Morning, he whispers. She opens her eyes, offering him a tired but hopeful smile. Morning, she echoes. He reaches for a folder on the table. This is mine. He begins, voice as steady as dawn light. Notice of leave. I've officially stepped away from the Han Group helm for now. I'm assigning responsibility to the board and interim COO. Her eyes widen, heart pounding as she processes the words. You did it, she breathes. He nods. I did, because family can't be a footnote in someone else's story. Our story starts with us, not the empire. She touches the edge of the paper, seeming to read beyond the words. That's everything. He stands and gently reaches his hand out to her. Come sit with me. She moves into his arms as he rises, and he cups her face. I want this, he says softly. I want to be a father who changes diapers at 2 a.m., who hears their first steps, their first words, and a husband who stands beside you always. Her tears come quietly. I've never been prouder of you, or more sure I love you. He grips her close, the sound of newborn breathing around them. Their lullaby now. We'll figure it out together, he promises. Later that day, Ji-hoon walks through the apartment, putting away briefcases and business documents, replacing them with baby books and photos of the twins. He pauses at the nursery doorway, peeking in at On sleeping soundly. His face softens. So-Yun joins him. What are you thinking? She asks. He smiles, but voice trembles with emotion. That for the first time in my life, I'm home. She leans into him, heart full. So are the babies. He nods, tears in his eyes. Our home. That evening, they prepare their dinner together. Simple rice, vegetables, blended broth. The twins sleep in a portable cradle by their feet. As they cook, they share soft conversation. What to say to curious friends, plans for the coming months, hopes for a calm life. So, he says, slicing vegetables. Should we send a photo announcement with their names? An and Jiwoo. She pours broth into 2 bowls. Yes, but let's keep it personal, no media. Just family, friends. He nods, heart swelling. Exactly what I want. She places a bowl before him. He tastes it, nodding with approval. He watches her smile approvingly when he hums happily. In that simple act, they both feel the shift. From empire to family, from ambition to belonging. He lifts his bowl. To us, our new start. She raises hers. To family, in every way that matters. They drink, soft clink echoing gratitude and joy. Later, while the babies nap, Jihoon sits with Soyeon on the couch, flipping through one of their parenting guides. She leans her head on his shoulder. Do you miss the office? She asks quietly. He closes the book and rests his cheek on her hair. Some days I'll miss the challenge, but right now, the only challenge I want is making this life work. With you. She lifts her face to his. You're amazing. He smiles softly. Because of you. A moment of silence unfolds. Contentment, love, purpose. As night deepens, he tucks them all into the surviving lullaby of soft breathing and muted city hum. He checks the baby monitor before heading to bed. Oyun watches him, eyes bright. Thank you, she whispers, for choosing this life. He takes her hand as they lie down. I didn't choose. I followed my heart. And I'll keep choosing this every day. So, Jihoon begins, voice soft in the quiet light. What do you think about starting reading to them tonight, even before they understand the words? She smiles, tracing the steam rising from his cup. Yes, but simple stories. They need our voices more than the plot. He reaches for the book, then hesitates, turning to her. Are you okay with this, sus? I mean, after everything. Her gaze is compassionate, steady. I am, she says tenderly, because I see you. Not the tycoon, but the man beside me who cried in that hospital, who fought through fear, who built a home from heartbreak. He exhales, leaning in to kiss her temple. I want to be that man, every day. She rests her hand on his. I know. That evening, they settle on the couch with the twins nestled in soft knit blankets. Jihoon opens the book, his voice gentle but strong. Once upon a time. Soyeon rests her head on his shoulder, adding coos and whispers, a lullaby of partnership. Their hearts beat in unison. Fear, joy, exhaustion, but above all, something new. Quiet confidence in each other. A small rumble in the hallway signals a visitor. They exchange a glance, curious, cautious. Jihoon stands and opens the door to find his assistant, smiling kindly and holding a delivery box. I brought baby care supplies, she says softly, stepping inside with minimal fanfare. She sets the box on their coffee table. Diapers, gentle lotions, a small stack of postpartum care books. From your dad. He wants to give support, says he's proud. Jihoon's eyes flick to Soyeon. Her chest tightens. The silence stretches like a whispered question. He takes a breath. Thank you. He looks his assistant in the eyes. Tell him we appreciate it. After she leaves, Jihoon closes the door and turns to Soyeon. She opens her mouth as if to speak, then closes it. After a heartbeat, she steps into his arms. You did the right thing. He presses her forehead. Sometimes being a family means letting go of old wounds. One gesture at a time. She nods against him. I want to try. For the twins. They hold each other in that moment, aware it's a fragile start. But healing, like love, grows in small acts of courage. Over the following weeks, they settle into a gentle rhythm. Morning stories, midday naps, afternoon walks with the twins in a stroller Soyeon pushes, while Jihoon trails with a bag of supplies and unwavering attention. One afternoon in the neighborhood park, an acquaintance from Soyeon's past greets them. Smiles shared, babies cooed over, an exchange of support that warms their hearts. Jihoon watches, pride and relief bubbling up as Soyeon laughs naturally, unburdened. That evening, she collapses on their front steps, head resting on his chest. He rocks her gently. Feeling okay? She breathes out contentment. Yes, I feel free. He kisses her hair. We're free. Late at night, they lie awake in bed, the apartment quiet save for the baby's soft breathing in their portable nursery. So-yeon reaches over to touch Ji-hoon's cheek. I'm sorry I doubted us. He pulls her closer. Doubting comes from surviving. It doesn't mean ending. We're stronger now because we stayed. She nods, tears reflecting moonlight. I love you. Today more than yesterday, and tomorrow more still. He kisses her hand, voice a tender vow. And I love you. Our love isn't naive. It's built from fear and perseverance and joy. It's real. They cling to each other, silent and moved. Outside, a distant siren hums, a reminder of the world beyond their home. But inside these walls, they've built something lasting. A partnership grounded in emotion, trust, and the shared promise of family. He reaches across the table and takes her hand. His eyes, gentle yet urgent, meet hers. I wanted tonight to be about you. He begins, voice steady but filled with emotion. About us, about the family we're creating. She exhales softly, warmth blooming in her chest. This meal, it's perfect. He smiles. You deserve perfect. Every day, in every way. He pauses, reaching into his jacket pocket. Her fingers tighten around his hand, instinctively bracing. He pulls out a small envelope, placing it before her. Open it? He asks, as if asking if he's allowed to hope. She glances at the candlelight dancing on his face. Patience, love, expectation. She unfolds the envelope. Inside, in his handwriting, let's make a home together. Will you marry me again? Her breath hitches. Tears well in her eyes. She looks up at him, voice trembling. Ji-hoon, again? He leans forward across the table, taking both her hands. Not for show, not for families or business. For us, I know our love isn't a fairy tale, but it's ours and it's real. I want to stand with you, as your husband, as a father, as your partner in every sunrise and every storm. A gentle pause. So-yeon's eyes glisten as she reads the words again. I never thought we'd get another chance like this. He reaches out, tracing the line of her cheek. I refused to walk away again. This time, I came home. She releases a trembling laugh. You came home and built an empire I can live in. He nods, voice soft. I want to promise that I'll spend the rest of my life making this home for you and our children. Tears spill down her cheeks. She rises and wraps her arms around him, whispering against his chest. Yes, yes, I'll marry you again. He closes his eyes, overwhelmed, and hugs her tight. Nestled in his embrace, she feels their journey from fracture to renewal, and the promise of all the moments ahead. Toddler footsteps, first birthdays, family dinners, quiet late-night talks. They pull apart slowly, eyes locked. He gently slips a ring on her finger, a simple gold band engraved with their initials and the twins' birth dates. She traces the engraving with awe and love. He brushes back her hair, voice hushed. It's you, us, them together. She presses her forehead to his. Forever, with every heartbeat. They return to the table, their hands intertwined. Dessert forgotten, but the sweetness lingers between them. A soft sound drifts from the twins' bassinets. Two tiny coos, as if blessing this moment. Ji-hoon raises his glass of herbal tea. To our second beginning. She lifts hers too. To us. So-yeon breathes in the air, eyes shining. It feels surreal, she murmurs, voice thick with emotion. Not the palace, no grand hall, but right here with you. He smiles, brushing a stray leaf from her hair. This is our reality. Simple, true, ours. They exchange letters, handwritten vows folded with care. She unfolds his first, voice soft. So-yeon, you were my first love, my hardest lesson, my greatest joy. I'm not the man I was. I'm not the same, but because of you, I'm better. Today, I vow to walk forward always beside you, never behind ambition again. Tears pool in her eyes. She presses the paper to her chest. You always speak to my heart. Next, it's her turn. Her voice quavers, full of strength. Ji-hoon, you healed me by choosing me, protecting me, loving me. Today, I promise to trust you again, to build this family by your side, through storms and sunrises. I love you, then now forever. He steps forward, pressing his forehead to hers. I love you, So-yeon, he whispers. Today and every day we have. They seal their vows with a gentle kiss, both laughing through tears. The stroller's small rumble prompts them to turn. The twins napily glance up as they emerge together. A new family standing united. He picks up their baby boy, smiling into his slumber. Welcome to our world, An. She cradles Ji-woo with equal tenderness. And you, Ji-woo, you complete us. They walk naked-handed, twins in arms, down the garden path toward a simple arch they placed the night before. Under the arch, they exchange rings again, heartfelt and real. She slips the ring on his finger. Always stay with me, she says. He grips her hand. I promise. In every heartbeat, I choose you. They stand in silence, the weight of their journey hanging gently between them. A breeze rustles leaves. Perfect, fragile peace. He guides her away from the arch. Let's go back home, he says softly. We have a family to grow. She nods, stepping close. Together, they walk back slowly, stepping stones resetting under their feet. No fanfare, only the quiet strength of two people who risked everything, embraced their fears, and chose love over empire. Their future waits. Sleepy feet, bedtime stories, first words, and shared sunsets. As they reach their doorstep, Ji-hoon pauses and turns to her. Life ahead, uncertain. Yes? She grips his hand. But we have each other. He nods, determined. Then we're already home. They step inside, the stroller ahead of them. The door closes behind. A new chapter begun, built on devotion, trust, and the courage to love again.